There are 20 other people on this Minecraft server and they all have secret custom origins with superpowers that I have no idea about. But I, as always, want to be the most powerful supervillain of the server, the Thanos, the Darth Vader, the Doofenshmirtz of this SMP. By not only decimating every single one of these members, but also creating a giant evil monument at spawn commemorating my incredible power. And I would do that eventually, but right now on day 1, I didn't feel very powerful. Okay, I'm stuck underneath this cobblestone gazebo at spawn because I take damage in the rain, so I quite literally cannot move. I'm also surrounded by extremely annoying people, but it's fine. I'm sure things will get better. Oh, crap. What the hell? Oh, this is gonna be a difficult one. Oh, he has full nether. He has a netherite sword and enchanted. Okay. As you can see, things were now headed off to a bright start. The first necessity towards reaching supervillain status is obviously maxed out gear, right? Starting off with iron stuff. Now, in my extensive SMP experience, I know that the fastest way to get this gear set is not by grinding for it yourself, but rather to steal from people who already have it. Unfortunately, though, the only people around me right now were Pluto, who was naked, and Bubble, who is short. Before I escape this horrible situation, I am so excited to interrupt this video to tell you I have a plushie. This is the coolest drop ever. This company called Blockheads reached out to me and they were like, hey, let's make an ashswag plushie, and I'm like, on one condition: you give it a gun. It's super high quality, it's awesome, you can do whatever you want to it. It's a 20 centimeter cube, it's here for 30 days and then it's gone forever. And I convinced them to get it a detachable velcro gun, and one lucky person will get a golden version of this gun. And you know what, you can get $1,000 if you get the golden gun. Just tweet me. So yeah, check it out, blockheads.store, link in the description. Back to being a supervillain. If my goal is to kill every single one, then my only rule for this challenge is that I shouldn't rely on cheap kills. Every single murder I commit should be meaningful. That's the trait of a good villain, but I needed gear to do that. I knew Bubble was a grinder though, so easy items to steal from. To survive and complete this challenge effectively, I needed to discover what everyone's power and most importantly their weaknesses were. Regardless, the clock was ticking and I needed this gear quickly. I realized that to get any progress done, I needed to do the one thing I hate most: socialize. Surprisingly though, unlike real life, talking to people here didn't instantly make me hate myself. Yet. Bubble invited me to visit her base later, which I am definitely not going to steal from. There could be gear there, but I would use that as a backup, because for now, I decided that I want to explore the server myself first. Before which I discovered my second weakness. Yup, getting paralyzed and blind every minute for 20 seconds. I hope I have some crazy powers to make up for these weaknesses. I do. As soon as it stopped raining, I went around spawn to talk to people, to get stuff and to learn about their powers and weaknesses. To do this, I employed 2 foolproof tactics. Can I have stuff? Can I have free stuff? Can I have some stuff, please? Begging, even though kind of effective, turned out not to be enough, so soon I murdered this tiny person in spawn to tick them off of my kill list and get their full iron. This, however, caused the entirety of spawn to start chasing me and Coin Monkey, a goober, helping me out. What are we thinking? So now this seems like the perfect time to use my secondary power. Let's go. That's right, as the glitch origin, I could teleport to a random location with a short cooldown, allowing me to easily escape this 2v5. So this was it. Finally, my time to teleport again and easily snag the easiest full iron armor set of my life, bringing me one step closer to my goal and establishing dominance. Oh, now not only did the ability glitch me outside the map, causing me to suffocate, but I also lost all the gear I rightfully stole and made enemies while I was doing it. On the bright side, this was a villainous thing to do. I was pursuing my goal.
Well, you're gonna regret that. Both. You are going to regret that.
And I ticked the person off my kill list, so I decided to finally use my plan B and head to Bubble's base, which I wish I would have done so much earlier because she was kind enough to let me freeload all the way to full iron and even enchant. Fear not, because my shenanigans back at spawn weren't useless at all. In fact, they served a way more important purpose, because during that 5v2 skirmish, I observed that Delilah was an axolotl powerful in water, Meta was a ghost, and Demi was an invisible villager guy. With this valuable information about people's powers, but making enemies in the process, I continued on my journey to gear up even more, for which I would need to borrow Bubble's farms to get levels and finish enchanting. So I walked back to her base, right? And during this walk, I saw Rose and Panky's beautiful cozy house on the hill, which they'd clearly spent time making, but I also saw Demi being a sweat and gearing up himself. What the hell is that? So clearly, people had wildly different goals on this SMP. Was that going to make me any more empathetic to their different goals and show them mercy? Absolutely not. I'm still a villain, right? You see, after stealing from Bubble's farms for a while, I felt bad and offered to help her get blaze rods from the nether at the time, which would be useful for me to get potions, but I also, wanted to help her because I was freeloading. But there was an issue with this. I have never teleported in the nether. I don't know if it'll put me in lava or not. It was a risk. But villains are supposed to take risks, right? However, as soon as we made it to the fortress, I saw a familiar face, Zam, just coming towards us, and the urge to kill him and tick him off my kill list was so huge, but I resisted. However, before ignoring him and walking past, I made a mental note of the fact that he jumped significantly higher just when we were approaching. That must be one of his powers. Anyway, I took these nether moments to collect ender pearls and gas tears because they would really come in handy later on. Just you wait. Unfortunately, however, just when we were getting done with the nether, I accidentally clicked on my teleport power. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yep, it turns out whenever I TP, it always takes me to the highest block, which in the nether is always the bedrock roof, which I was stuck in. So in pure shame, I had to message Zam, the person who I wanted to kill mere minutes ago, to come and help me. Luckily, when I logged back on the next day, Zam had graciously built a portal to save my ass. He was still on the kill list. I don't care. For now, I had to gear up again quickly and make up for the time that I had lost on the roof. So I returned to Bubble's base, this time hollowing out a giant hall underneath her base. You see, forcefully trapping these villagers and making them breed automatically would skyrocket my power because nobody else on this SMP had a villager farm yet. Now, these poor fools would help me get maxed out gear in no time. And additionally, being underneath Bubble's base should be the perfect cover to keep it secret from the other members. I mean, who would predict this wholesome little person to have an underground black market? Now, this villager hall was on track to give me power, right? But it had an other unintended effect. Bubble herself found the hall in the process of being built, and she was getting a lot of use out of it. I mean, I didn't really care. It was kind of like an ant stealing crumbs from the ground as you were eating a packet of Oreos or something. Like, I just felt bad, really. So for the next couple sessions, I grinded out levels and books, all from Bubble's farms, of course. And I even got enough netherite ingots for a set to upgrade once I was done enchanting. All of this upgrading was just to make the genocide part of my challenge a little bit easier. I was still on iron, but I would have to work my way up to a point where it would become easy. As for the tower part, that was going to be a problem. See, if you know me, you know I suck at building in Minecraft and have never made a good build ever, except for this one, which I am being told I'm not allowed to talk about. Bubble, the person I am freeloading from, is a good builder, however, so I am going to steal from her skills and ask her to build this tower for me, and by ask, I mean threaten. But before I could present Bubble with a formal invitation to work, Zam and Ratrick said in the Discord that they were hosting a big play at spawn and that everyone on the server was obliged to come. I thought this would be a good place to tick off some of the troll members of the server off my list by killing them with my hands. It also helped that Spoke had a fully enchanted netherite sword that I needed right now. So I made my way to spawn and came face to face with Spoke. At this point, I had absolutely no idea about his powers, and that led to an interesting encounter. Spoke approaches me doing a worm emote, which makes it extremely hard to hit him because his hitbox is small. Right when I noticed that he's smaller than usual, he swiped me with his netherite sword, which led to me immediately going defensive and raising my shield. Switching to his axe while doing the dab emote, poor Spoke thought he was slick and could break my shield to finish me off, but little did this fox know that if he broke my shield right now, the fight would already be over. Folks, I present to you my second and most important power. With the middle mouse button, I can stop time in a 5x5 radius around me in the Genesis SMP, freezing all entities in the area for 5 seconds, including poor Spoke over here. Hey, be careful what you're doing to me, bro. Be careful what you do to me, bro. I want that netherite sword. I want that netherite sword. Mine now, bitch. This was huge in the grand scheme of things, and killing Spoke in front of everyone helped with the reputation a lot. Yes, water still hurt, and I did get palpitations every now and then, which was embarrassing, but playing around with the time freeze, being able to stop people in midair, and even catch arrows in their place like the Matrix in front of everyone, increased their villain status by a lot. And the status was proved when I was able to threaten the Rapture to get me gear and enchant it and grind it up, way better than his, putting me light years ahead of everyone else power-wise. This power wouldn't last for long, but at least now I had time to think about the tower, the second part of the challenge. I thought I would need to threaten Bubble into making it for me, but no, because I let her use the villager trading hall downstairs, she was pretty enthusiastic to work with me. She said she would work on a few sketches for the tower, and I was like, what, sketches? And she's like, yeah, that's something builders do. They make sketches of the actual build in real life, and I was like, what? Anyway, while she was working on that, she gave me a list of materials to get to make the tower. I made a little hidey hole with barrels on one corner of the villager trading hall to secretly collect these tower materials, and thus was established my evil company, the corporation, with me, ashswag, as a CEO and only employee. While collecting these materials throughout the week, I scouted some good real estate at spawn to put the tower in. Right before I handed everything off to Bubble, I noticed that my maxed out gear I had that I was so proud of had now been caught up by some others. Granted, only a few other members in the server also had full enchanted netherite, but I still needed to kill them. How was I gonna drop these full enchanted netherite fools and take them off my kill list? As Bubble started on my evil corporation tower, I ticked a few powerless people like JC off my kill list and went straight to the nether to get blaze rods and ender pearls. Do you see where I'm going with this? But as with most reasonable SMPs, people were mad that I was killing members for no reason, so I apologized. Just kidding, I made a reason. Introducing the Corporation Hitman Service, headquartered at the beautiful, luscious, sprawling Fang Tower in the middle of spawn. Need anyone dead? Just fill the form. It isn't genocide, it's just business. Within the first day, I got enough responses to justify killing almost everyone on the server. So throughout the next week, I made several enemies. Day after day after day, I would lure people in with fake conversation, pretending I'm helping them out for a stream idea, make them think they were safe, and immediately as I got close, I would time stop them, freezing them in place and allowing me to end it all, watching as the life helplessly escaped their eyes. And the best part about all of this is that for those 5 seconds that they were frozen, it didn't even matter what powers they had on the server. This method of freezing and stabbing to death, however, was easy against lesser geared targets for the first few hits, but what about the other skilled motherfuckers who also have maxed out armor at this point? Well, the answer to killing them lies within the immense amount of gas tears, ender pearls, and blaze rods that I collected throughout my time on Genesis SMP, which I would use to craft end crystals. You see exactly where I'm going with this. After finishing off basically everyone else on the server at this point, except Bubble, because who would hurt Bubble? Hello Bubble. The final people left on my epic kill list were now 4 maxed out players with full netherite. The MixLZ, the Rapchu, Mark, and finally the owner of the server, Prince Sam himself. At this point everyone knew I was always up to no good because I really sold myself as a villain. Not just by killing, but also doing tasteful trolling around the server, like ruining beautiful bases by completely covering them with netherite blocks. You know what? Maybe they just hated me as a person. But anyway, it was villain time. Now these last kills would eventually get harder and harder, so I had to pick my first target wisely. The Rapchu was a grinder, a hard worker, but worst of all, he was an Australian. See, I was actually chill with him because he was the only person to give me stuff when I begged people way back on day 1. He trusted me, which is exactly why it'd be the easiest for me to end his life. I invited him to come have a conversation at spawn, but using some excuse, and finally I did this. Darabchu, I've been on a mission.
Hi.
Someone put your name in the death note, and I need to finish it. It's just business. I didn't want to surprise you with it. The only way for you to escape the time stop is if I allow you to. So there's 2 ways to do this. Okay, well. But then I realized something. If he logged off while time stopped, and then the time stop deactivated, and then he logged on after that, he should, when he logs on, theoretically be... Look at me in the eyes. This is too boring. Let's go. Yep, frozen in place forever. Now I could leave him here to rot for the rest of the server and doom him to be a mediocre Australian statue at spawn for the rest of eternity, but I didn't. Because I decided to recruit him for a special mission after killing him. So even though I had to pop him like a balloon to tick him off the kill list, in fact I didn't even know who put the hit on him. I didn't really look at who put any of the hits, I just wanted to kill people, but they don't need to know that. He realized that I spared his life by not freezing him forever and decided to join my mission. What this mission is very important because it related to finishing my objective. Hearing about my actions put others on even higher alert. Nobody would even log on to meet me at all because they saw all these killings happen. I was being avoided like the plague. Avoided like a villain. And it wasn't until I made Bubble ask people to give her build materials did anyone even log on and come close to Fang Tower. To my absolute surprise, one day, all 3 of a fully geared Demi, Mark, and Zam, my last 3 targets, came straight to my base. Even though I had absolutely no idea if I could take a 3v1 against fully geared players, which I probably would lose, I immediately logged on. Realizing quickly that I am going to lose if I engage in a fair fight, I decided to be a rat. I logged on quickly, froze everyone in place, crystal Demi, and then left. Now, was this a wrong thing to do? Yes. But did I kill one of the hardest players on the server who could literally go invisible during nighttime off my kill list? Also yes. Unfortunately though, this thing called consequences of my actions came back to bite me. After this, Sam and Mark, who were there and witnessed everything, then went through a process of creating an entire organization, a structure that directly challenged my authority on the server and went against everything I stood for and represented with a building on the island that spawned right in front of my glorious evil Fang Tower. The Paw Patrol. Now, I hate law enforcement. Everyone on the server knew this, but Mark and Sam founded the Paw Patrol not only to spite me in front of my face, but also for another main reason. And this is where my special mission I talked about comes into play. At some point in the last month or so, a giant glitched chicken appeared on the server, and every member promptly then began worshipping this big chicken. Now, me personally, as a villain, I didn't feel inclined to subscribe to this religion, but the Paw Patrol was the main group that was founded to dedicating to protect this, deity. Now, Zam and Mark were fully aware that I wanted to kill them and wouldn't agree to see me or confront me at all as usual. So I had to do something to force their hand, something that would need them to come confront me regardless. I was going to do it with a kidnapping. Not just any kidnapping, I was going to kidnap God. So in the wee hours of midnight, me, the Rapchu who I recruited, and a secret 3rd player we roped in called Pluto decided to go to this big chicken who was right next to a giant pyramid, which is real symbolic. Now we spent hours digging a giant chicken-shaped hole right in front of it, and with great difficulty, a lot of bridges, and a lot of water buckets, we put God in a hole.
Yes!
We were gonna hide God, but since the glorious chicken head was sticking out, we dug the hole even deeper, dropped it a little bit more, and covered it up. The next step was now to drop the chicken even lower so it would be hard for anyone to F3A and see it underground, which led us to the next step. We would now tell the worshippers that Big Chicken is gone and only we knew where he was. This should theoretically force Zam and Mark to finally come out and confront me. Now everything happened like clockwork and they agreed to come see us next session. The final stand happened on the 4th Saturday of July. The Rapture and Pluto, my only allies on the server, were not available and wouldn't be able to help me. It would be me against Mark and Zam, with a somehow re-geared and now supposedly neutral Demixel Z also hanging around as well. Great. 2.5 targets standing right in front of me on the server. If I somehow won this battle, it would make me finally the strongest member on the server, and then I would take down the Paw Patrol. But that's a big somehow. So the scene was set, and as the sun set beyond the horizon, the last 2 people on my kill list finally confronted me. Before the fight begins, let's analyze what we're working with. Now, Mark is an inchling, which not only meant that he was small and agile with a smaller hitbox, making him harder to hit, but if you noticed, he also has the power to mount on any player's head and become unhittable. Zam, on the other hand, as we saw way earlier, had the power to jump extremely high, being the GOAT origin, and he would deal extra damage while coming down. Gear-wise, however, they were both maxed out, with Zam being limited by the plugin to max out diamond leggings and boots, simply because his origin was that powerful. Now, for the violence. As soon as the fight began, you'll notice Mark dismounting my head, hitting me, then mounting again. This was really annoying because it prevented me from healing and stalled just in time for Zam to rush over and disable my shield. What you'll also notice is a fully geared Demixel Z standing right behind them, who claimed to be neutral, quote unquote, and not wanting to participate in the fight. Sure, buddy. Anyway, as soon as Zam disabled my shield, I knew I had to think fast, and then I remembered I literally have superpowers. As soon as the shield disabled, I teleported up just to heal, but then I started taking damage again. Pulled away because they were pursuing me like actual rats. I thought I could make a quick escape through the nether portal to re-gear, but they kept pursuing me. Prince Sam kept repeating that he was Saitama as he cripped me out several times, and I pulled away just in time as Demixel Z followed suspiciously close behind. Alright, I had some distance now and I could eat, but my saturation was up and my heart count was depleting, and Prince Sam was singing evil songs as he chased me. You can hear Mark say, Demi, go get him, because it was clearly a 3v1. It was not a 2v1. I stood my ground and I asked Prince Sam what the freak, but then I got him solo, caught him out, time stopped him, and now I'm critting him out till he dies. Almost a second until he dies, but he just gets out and Demixel Z follows close behind. I teleport away just in time, just to regroup, because there's no way I'm tanking a normal fight against these guys. I'm on the side of the hill by randomly teleporting, but I'm not sure how long I can stay safe. What the hell am I doing? I thought to myself, cowering on the side of a mountain, waiting to heal while 3 law enforcement agents were trying to kill me, and the Paw Patrol was right there, taunting me as I did this, taunting me as I hid from the people that wanted to kill me. I wasn't a villain. I was a fraud. If I was gonna lose, so be it. I wasn't gonna let Chase from Paw Patrol stop me, so I pulled on top of the hill and eventually saw Zam at the end of a bridge across the lake.
Is this what you wanted? Is this what you wanted?
Quit the dialogue, bro. Come on. Zam then proceeded to charge me, use a small jump ability, and crit. I caught him in a time stop just as he did that, but he trapped himself in cobwebs. We proceeded to trade hits right in front of each other's face on top of the bridge, and it led with me coming out slightly on top, leading Zam to use his big jump ability to purely retreat. This was my chance. I knew that getting him one-on-one was my best chance of winning in this 1v2, so I aggro-pearled on him.
You're evil.
Thank you, that was exactly what I was going for.
Then why do you want to kill me?
Zam, if I kill you, Paw Patrol is going down. The entire building is going to be taken down by your bare hands, bro. I was getting Zam low, but his allies were approaching, so I teleported before I could get below 5 hearts just to eat, but I was stuck inside the pit, which is when I saw Zam use his big jump ability to come land a super crit on me. Again, teleported away just in the nick of time, but my health was low, I didn't have food, and I wasn't sure what to do. When boom, Mark hits me from behind and reminds me that it's a 3v1.
Dude, yeah, man. Oh, man.
What the is Mark doing here, bro? Who invited this guy?
Be on your head.
Hold on, this is slightly unfair. So Mark stayed on my head and did the stupid dismount hitting thing to stall just in time for the other 2 to come towards me. Time stopped.
Hey, don't go.
I got them both stuck, and this is it. This is it. I can drop Prince Sam. Oh, are you kidding me? Lost my only chance, and to make matters worse, Mark came over and mounted me, meaning he could see my health.
Hey, Zam, he's down 4 hearts. He's down 4
Are you
hearts.
serious, Mark? Oh my god, you're so annoying, dude.
I'm in the air.
Zam, he's down 3.5 hearts.
Oh, I forgot you know their hearts. That's actually awesome.
How do you know that? Is that one of your
It sounds
favorites?
like as like the hearts of a horse.
It's because I'm mounting him.
Oh!
Oh, you guys are actually the worst. The worst. Oh my god. This fight was basically lost. My armor was rapidly breaking and I was taking fire damage. And I was on barely 7 hearts when Zam decides to do this. That is his super jump ability. And as he's soaring to the sky, suspiciously falling towards you, let me remind you that if he lands his crit on me, I am dead. My villain story would be done and I'd have to leave the server and retreat to a life of tranquility in the mountains. And as Zam was descending to come and execute me, as I was picturing my serene lifestyle as a monk in the mountains, I noticed the fucking crystals in my inventory. I can't relate.
I thought if you
I love watching the light escape from their eyes. The absolute despair in their skull as they realize there's nothing they can do. Nothing that will stop the inevitable. Being a villain isn't about principle. It's about pleasure.
I thought if you first teleport. Oh shit! Oh!
Now for the small one. Now I got you, motherfucker. Now I got you. Now I got you. Class dismissed. When I killed Zam, you'll notice that I also blew up all of his stuff, meaning he was naked, so I spared his life further. Just kidding, I bullied him into breaking his Paw Patrol tower down brick by brick with his own bare hands. Zam, this is all I wanted, to hear you weep as you break down your Paw Patrol tower. And as I ticked off the last people in my kill list and watched Zam break down his police tower, I knew I'd reached the peak of villainy.
I'm sorry, but we can never be friends again.
Thank you for watching. We are so back. Buy the plushie, subscribe. Yeah! Ashwag. Yay!